What's up, guys? Ace On's Gaming here, and welcome to another review. And in this video, I'm going to talk about WrestleMania 31. WrestleMania was a pretty good show overall. I'm not going to lie, it was better than what I expected. I was expecting the obvious, but it wasn't. The first match, I'm not really going to talk much about the pre-show. Well, what the hell? I guess I'll talk about the pre-show. But I'm not going to talk about that tag team match with the Usos, New Day, and Los Matadores. Because I really didn't pay much attention to that match, but I know that Tyson Kidd and Cesaro retained their titles. Um, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. It was a lot of people in that, a lot of wrestlers in that ring, but the winner of that match ended up being Big Show. It ended up being just 3 men left. It was The Miz, Mizdow, and Big Show. The Miz, he started talking crap to Mizdow. He was just, telling him, we could take this man down, and he was just talking crap to him. And Mizdow was like, no, I'm not doing what you say. And he just threw his ass out the ring. And, the fans marked out once he did that, which was, pretty awesome. I thought it was pretty awesome when Hideo Itami was a part of the match. Since he won that NXT Battle Royal or whatever it was called. It was nice to see him a part of that match. I really wanted to see him win, but I knew WWE wasn't going to let him, win. They just wanted him to get that WrestleMania feel just so he can be a part of it and stuff. Since he won his Battle Royal match fair and square. A lot of people kept saying Ryback was gonna win, but as soon as Ryback got eliminated, I'm like, no way. But it ended up being between Big Show and Mizdow, and Mizdow put on a pretty good fight. The guy was swinging them hands. He almost took him out the ring. He was going to pull off a Kurt Angle or Chris Benoit, whatever it was at the end. Like, he had him in his chokehold. He tried to pull him out the ring with him, but, Big Show just lifted him up and just threw him out the ring, and that was the end of the match. Big Show ended up being the winner. Miz put on a good fight, then better than what I expected. For a sec, I thought he was actually going to pull off a miracle and eliminate the Big Show, but it didn't happen. And the first match of WrestleMania was the ladder match for the IC title. The match was pretty awesome. That was a freaking awesome match. The highlights of that match was Dean Ambrose getting powerbombed through the ladder, and Stardust getting, suplexed off the ladder. That suplex Stardust took off that ladder, that was the end of Stardust. I think Bad News Barrett suplexed him off the ladder, and when Stardust landed, man, that was insane. And that ladder was just so high, and he just went down and boom, he crashed on his back. But I think the main highlight of this match was when Luke Harper powerbombed Dean Ambrose through that ladder. Soon as Dean Ambrose got powerbombed through that ladder, I think he broke his neck. I'm gonna be honest, because that landing was not. Ouch. That's all I gotta say. That landing was not good. He immediately got medical attention right after that incident happened, and that was the end for Dean Ambrose. And at one point, Daniel Bryan started climbing the ladder, and Dolph Ziggler kept coming back. He kept trying to stop Ziggler, and try to stop Bryan. And then Bad News Barrett came back. He was just bullhammering everybody, and I think someone stopped him. I'm not sure who it was. I forgot, but someone stopped him. And then at the end, eventually, Daniel Bryan, he was at the top of the ladder, and he ended up, grabbing that IC belt, and he won. Pretty good match. And let's see, what was next? Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins with J&J Security. Now that match was pretty good. Randy Orton hit about, I think, 2 RKOs or 1 RKO. Like the first RKO he hit, Seth Rollins kicked out. And he hit a curb stomp during that match, but Randy kicked out. Throughout the match, it was just a back and forth match. The match was pretty good. I like how Randy had like his vintage attire. He had like this, I think he had like these red tights, and he had his old elbow pads. It was something he used to wear back in Evolution. I looked up the attire. It was similar to his Backlash 2004 attire, which is, so freaking vintage. And Seth Rollins, he had a pretty awesome attire. I like how the Shield, since they broke up and all, I like how Roman and Seth Rollins Like their attires are different, but they do have some similarities. Like Seth Rollins, his attire was just black and had like these yellow lines going through it. It was a pretty awesome looking attire. Um, Seth Rollins, he put off a Shawn Michaels in that match. He had like a moonsault off the apron on Randy Orton, which landed successfully. And he tried to hit that Phoenix Splash on Randy Orton, but Randy got out the way. And the ending of this match was epic. All right, Seth Rollins tried to hit a curb stomp on Randy Orton, and then while he was on Randy Orton's neck, Randy somehow lifted himself up and threw Rollins in the air and caught him with an RKO. And that was freaking insane. That was the best RKO I have ever seen in my life. Man, the crowd was marking out afterwards. Hell, I was marking out. That was epic. And then Randy Orton pinned him 1, 2, 3, and that was the end. That was a crazy ending. Let's see. Paige and AJ versus the Bella Twins. I like how Paige looked. Paige, she looked really good. I was like, damn, man. You know, Paige looked fine as hell. I ain't gonna lie. Paige looked good with with her hair like that. And, I'm one of those guys that like girls like that. Like, girls with dark hair and, she's very light looking, People say she looked pale, but she looks pretty nice to me. I mean, it's a lot of guys out there that like girls like Paige, and I'm one of those guys, and Paige looked really good. But anyway, let's get back into the match. Let's see what happened during this match. Throughout this review, I'm just gonna I'm not gonna talk about the whole match. I'm just gonna describe the main parts, and that's basically what I'm gonna do because I don't want to make this video too lengthy. How did this match end? I know at one point during this match, Nikki Bella, she hit the rack attack. I think it was on AJ or Paige. It was one of them. And I think it was Paige, and Paige kicked out. And Nikki was surprised. She was just amazed. And at the end, one of the Bellas got through into the steps, and the camera angle didn't catch it, but you could literally hear the sound effect. That was loud, and you heard a boom. And I think it was Brie Bella that got through into the steps, or Nikki. It was one of them, but it ended with AJ hitting the Black Widow on one of them. I think it was Nikki. She hit the Black Widow on Nikki or Brie. It was one of them. I cannot remember, but AJ hit the Black Widow, and that ended the match. And when they won the match, Paige was in tears of joy. She was all happy and stuff. She was just emotional. Her and AJ was leaving the ring. Paige she wasn't crying, but she was very emotional, since it was her very first WrestleMania match. But it was pretty awesome. It was nice to see, Paige get her first WrestleMania victory. Her and AJ leave the ring as the winners. And the Bella Twins were just, all upset and they left and lost like a champ. Let's see. Sting versus Triple H. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect the match to be that early. I thought the match was gonna be like later. I thought it was gonna be like after Cena and Rusev or something, but it was like very early in the show. The match was so early. It was still daytime outside, and that's the thing that got me throughout the show. It was still daytime. It didn't get dark until like the very last match, and that was crazy. Sting had an awesome entrance. He had like this people playing like these instruments, and it was kind of like a live version of Sting's theme song. And a lot of the people that were presenting his theme, they had like the exact same face paint Sting had, and that was pretty awesome. And Sting came out, he had his red coat on, and Sting looked he's in the best shape ever. For a 56-year-old guy, that guy is in shape. And for the first time in a while, in TNA, Sting, if you watch TNA when Sting was there, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Sting used to always wear a t-shirt when he wrestles for some odd reason. I thought it's because, Sting started, getting a beer belly or something, but Sting didn't wear his t-shirt. He actually wore his whole attire with the straps on it and everything. And Sting didn't lose a single touch as far as, wrestling in the ring. And I thought Sting had like a beer belly, but Sting has the exact same physique like he did, back then. Triple H came out, and his entrance was based off the Terminator. And I like how Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't know if I said it right, Arnold Schwarzenegger, whatever, he presented Triple H and he was like, "It's time to play the game," and his eyes was just red and robotic. Like that was pretty badass. And I also like how they had this animation and it was scanning this target, and that target was Sting. Like Sting's face popped up on a target, and I was like, "Holy shit, that is badass!" And then Triple H rose from under the ground with just these robotic guys next to him, and eventually he came to the ring, and him and Sting, they began the match. The match was pretty good. Sting is that man didn't lose a touch. The crowd even chanted at one point during the match, "You still got it," and you damn right he still got it. Sting says that's his last match, but I don't think he's done. I think he has one more left in him, or at least a couple of more. Sting did a pretty good job in that match. Throughout the match, it was just back and forth match like any other match. I think Triple H hit a pedigree, like one pedigree or two. I know when he hit one of the pedigrees, Sting kicked out. Sorry if you guys heard that burp I just did a couple of seconds ago. And Sting hit a Scorpion Death Drop, and Triple H kicked out. And then at some point during the match, DX came out and they started running to the ring, and Sting was finna get jumped. And so next thing you know, the NWO came out. It was Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, and that was epic. And they all just got in this brawl. It was crazy. And then Triple H and Sting were still going at it. And I think Sting got his hands on DX. I'm not sure if he did or not. And what else? How did this match end? All right, it ended up being between Triple H with the hammer and Sting in the bat. DX gave... No, wait, before I get to this. Before this even happened, when Sting got handed the baseball bat from the NWO and Triple H getting handed the sledgehammer, when Sting had Triple H in the Scorpion Deadlock, Shawn Michaels appeared and he sweet chin music Sting in his face, and that was pretty awesome. No one saw that coming. He just gave him a sweet chin music, and I think Triple H pinned him, but Sting kicked out. But anyway, back to the part when Triple H, I was gonna call him HHH. Triple H had the sledgehammer and Sting had the bat. The bat basically won against the hammer. Sting broke that sledgehammer in half with that bat. Like, he literally hit the hammer and it broke to pieces. And then, eventually the match, I think Sting was going to go for a Stinger Splash or something, and Triple H ran to him with the half broken piece. Like he didn't use the piece that was the little handle part. He used the part with the metal part. That was a part of the broken piece, and he picked up that piece and he hit him in the head, and that was it. He pinned him 1, 2, 3, and that was it. And my prediction was right when I predicted that Triple H was going to win that match. I didn't know how he was going to do it, but I wanted Sting to win, but my gut was telling me Triple H was going to win, and it happened. All right, and let's see what match is next. Okay, John Cena versus Rusev with Lana. And Lana looked so good. I'm not gonna lie, Lana looked really, really good. She, Rusev had a nice entrance. He came out in this tank, and it was a lot of just, the whole Russian family was just on stage, and they had like a flag and stuff they carried to the ring when they was introducing Lana. Well, before Rusev came out, they were just walking to the ring as they were escorting Lana to the ring. She was holding a U.S. title. She was dressed in all white. And Rusev came out with this tank. He came out on top of this tank, and he came out with the Russian flag, and eventually his music started playing. He was in the ring, and he was just celebrating and all of that. It was a pretty good entrance. I'm not gonna lie. Rusev actually had a pretty good entrance. And then John Cena came out. It was like a little promo before Cena came out about America and basically American. It was just American highlights. And then John Cena came out, and yeah, the match began. Him and Rusev had Rusev was dominating that match for a second when it first started. Then Cena started coming back as usual. He went into Super Cena mode. I was thinking for a sec, okay, it's weird how, okay, Taker, last year when Taker's streak ended, the crowd was shocked. And I was thinking that, if Cena tapped out at WrestleMania 31, you know how shocked the fans would be? I think the fans shouldn't be shocked if that would have happened in the match, simply because Cena has tapped out before. It's just, WWE won't acknowledge the fact that he tapped out before, which is stupid for some reason. Um, but anyways, they were having a pretty good match. And at some point, Rusev put Cena in that, what is it called? The Acolyte. And Cena was in trouble. Like, Cena's face was turning purple. It was crazy. That man had him in the Acolyte. That move was locked up. And then John Cena somehow got out of it and got Rusev in the STFU. Rusev didn't give up at all. Lana tried to get involved. She even tried throwing her shoe in the ring, which was pretty funny. I think she threw one of her shoes in the ring. And she straight up missed John Cena. And she tried to distract the ref. And the ref was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And blah, blah, blah. And at one point during the match, Rusev gave Cena that kick to the face, and that was a nice kick. And this is how it ended. I think Rusev got distracted by something. I cannot think of what it was. He got distracted by something. I forgot what it was. I think he tried to go out. No. This is what happened. Rusev ran at Cena, and then Cena dodged Rusev, and Rusev hit Lana off the apron, and Lana fell and broke her ankle. And when he turned around, John Cena hit Rusev with the attitude adjustment, and that was it. And then Cena became the new United States champion, and that was, crazy. I wasn't expecting it to end like that. I wanted somebody to tap out. I ain't want to see no pinfall, but, well, it is what it is. John Cena beat Rusev, and I think Lana was, really injured because she fell pretty hard, and they had, like, this referee, one of the officials backstage, escorting her to the back so she could get medical attention and stuff, but the match was pretty good. Let's see. The Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. This was the match I was anticipated for because, personally, Undertaker is my favorite wrestler. I've been a Taker fan since I was like 5 years old, and a diehard Taker fan. I really couldn't see Bray Wyatt's entrance because the network was just buffering. I got so pissed off when the network started buffering. I didn't know why it was doing it. But eventually he came back, and I saw a little bit of Bray's entrance. He had like these zombies, and he was just walking to the ring and just walking through these zombies, and it was just epic. I was talking to a friend while I was watching WrestleMania, and he told me that the zombies were following him or something like that. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I know they were in his entrance, of course, and as soon as he got in the ring, Taker came out, the Gong Kit, and then Taker was walking to the ring. He had his old attire. Like, back then, back when Taker used to wrestle full time, he used to always have his typical, black hat and black coat with his gloves, and that's what he had. I think that attire was the exact same attire he wore at WrestleMania 21. He just wanted to make it vintage and bring back, Taker from 10 years ago. He was walking to the ring. He was just, Taker looked like he looked like he was in good condition. He didn't look like he was unprepared like last year. Last year he looked prepared, but I just think, he wasn't fully prepared. But this year he looked better than ever, in my opinion. And he was walking to the ring and, did what he usually do, removed his hat, and he had like his new look with his hair and stuff. He looked like what he did back in '03 with the Big Evil, American Badass thing. It looked pretty awesome. Probably about like next year, he's probably gonna have his long hair back, but it's whatever. We got the Dead Man at WrestleMania facing off against Bray Wyatt, and the match started off with Taker. Like, Taker was kicking ass. Taker was straight up dominating Bray Wyatt at the beginning. This man was hitting his comeback already. This man gave him a body splash to the corner, then picked him up and gave him a snake eyes, big boot him. I mean, they was actually going at it. But throughout the whole match, Taker was just dominating, especially the beginning. He was beating the living shit out of Bray Wyatt. At some point, Bray Wyatt started coming back. He had that running crossbody he usually does on Taker, and he knocked Taker out. And he had his sig. I forgot what it's called. It's kind of like a rock bottom, but it's like he doesn't go down with you when he does it. He just throws you in the air and knock you down with that one arm move. I can't not remember what that move is called, but he did that to Taker. And I was getting a bit worried because I know Taker had a concussion last year, and Taker was taking a lot of bumps involving the skull, and I was getting a little nervous because I'm like, oh no, this is not looking good. And at some point during the match, Taker was just he was getting up, but he looked like he was just getting tired so quick, and it was just, I gotta get used to seeing that, man, because it's really hard seeing when you like when you're a big fan of a wrestler and when they're like down a lot and you really want them to win. It's hard seeing that, especially with a guy like Undertaker. It was really hard for me to watch that. Bray Wyatt, he tried going for Sister Abigail for the first time, then Taker just stopped him and he choked him, and then he gave him a choke slam. And then I believe afterwards, he gave him a tombstone, and Bray Wyatt kicked out, shockingly. And the fans were just surprised and stuff. And Taker was surprised himself. Taker was like, "What the hell?" Like his face expression was just priceless. And I think afterwards they were going at it again, and Taker hit the no. Bray Wyatt hit Sister Abigail out of nowhere, and Taker kicked out barely. It was 1, 2 kick out. I'm like, wow, this man. It's Undertaker. Of course he was going to kick out, but at the same time, I still get this worried feeling like, I don't know if he's going to do it after what happened last year. I don't know what's going to happen. And the match eventually ended with Taker giving Bray Wyatt a tombstone, that second tombstone, and that was it. He beat Bray Wyatt, but I'm not going to lie, Taker actually did better in this match than he did last year. He was getting some hits. He dominated that match. I'm not gonna lie. Like the beginning of it, he dominated. In the middle, Bray Wyatt started coming back, but at the end, he came back and just tombstoned him, and that was awesome. What else happened? And he celebrated, and the pyro hit and all. It was pretty typical when he wins. And let's see what's next. I think the main event is next, but I think that's the match I need to talk about. The main event. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns I noticed something at the beginning of his entrance. I think a lot of people didn't see this. When Roman was coming down throughout the crowd, he actually pushed someone. Like, this guy was in front of him, and he shoved him away with one hand. He looked at him like he was crazy. Like, what the hell are you doing? I think the guy tried to touch him or something. It was crazy. But if you go back and watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I like how when Roman got in the ring, he did the little thing where he put his fist down to the ground. And when he did that, all the power it was pyro all over the ceiling everywhere. It was awesome. That was awesome. And then Brock came out. Brock, that man, I think he came out just running, and he was just, ready and stuff. He had that title on him. He did like his little tump when the pyro hit. The pyro came out so freaking late. He was like, he did like his little tump where he put his arms up and put it down. And the power didn't come up until he was walking like 4 seconds after he did it, 5 seconds afterward. The power came up late, and it was a hell of a lot of pyro. And then he jumped on the ring, and the pyro hit and stuff, and yeah. And then when the match started, Brock was just dominating that match. It was kind of like him versus John Cena all over again. Like he was holding Roman Reigns, but then Roman tried to prevent it, but he eventually turned those movements into a German suplex. I think throughout the match, he German suplexed Roman at least, 7 or 8 times. I might be wrong, but I think it was like 7 or 8 times. Roman tried coming back. At times, he reversed a couple of Brock's moves. Also, Brock hit an F5 early in the match. He didn't even pin him. He just F5'd him out of nowhere. And I'm like, this dude is dominant. This dude is a fucking beast. He also gave him a second F5, but then Roman kicked out, and Brock was just all surprised. Like, this man kicked out the F5 again? Brock was like, wow. And when the match started, Roman actually made Brock bleed a bit. Like, he had like a little cut on his face. He made Brock bleed like 3 times, actually. I think out the ring, he did something, and it bust Brock's lip open. And I know the last thing he did that bust Brock open, like, for real, like, really bad. Brock tried to throw Roman into the ring post, but then Brock reversed it. No, Roman reversed Brock's move, and then Brock his head. This was legit. I don't think this was fake at all. This was definitely legit. This man's head hit the pole when you could literally hear the sound effect, and blood was just everywhere. Like, I seen the blood immediately rush out of his forehead right when his head like hit that pole, and that was just that ring post, and that was just crazy. Eventually, when these two got back in the ring, when they were all, tired and stuff, Roman gave Brock a Superman punch, and I figured Brock wasn't gonna fall down. That's Brock freaking Lesnar. That man could get up If that man could kick out an attitude adjustment at 1, that man is not finna fall down off no Superman punch. That man got hit in the face, still was down. Hit again, still was down. And I think that third time Roman hit it, he was down. And Roman's face was priceless like that first time when he hit it, when, you know, Brock didn't fall down. Hell, I wasn't surprised because I knew Brock wasn't going to fall down. I mean, like I said, that's Brock freaking Lesnar. But Roman was surprised. I guess he was expecting Brock to just fall down when he hit it. And I think Roman hit like 2 spears on Brock. No. That first spear or second spear he hit on Brock. I think it was just 1 spear. Yeah. That first spear he hit on Brock. That was it. He hit it. I thought that was it for a second, but Brock kicked out somehow. And then out of nowhere, right when both of them were just knocked out, I heard Seth Rollins' music, and Seth Rollins came out, and the crowd was just going crazy. This man had the briefcase. He was running to the ring. He was just ready. And he was telling them cash it in, cash it in, cash it in, and that's what they did. They cashed it in. And so I think Brock, he curb stomped Brock like no. I think he curb stomped Roman Reigns to kick him out the ring or something like that. It didn't. He tried to curb stomp what's his name? I think he curb stomped Brock one time, and he was going to curb stomp him again, and then Brock just got up and turned into an F5, and then Roman came back in and speared Brock Lesnar, and the next thing you know, Seth Rollins curb stomp Brock Lesnar again. He pinned him 1, 2, 3, and Seth Rollins was he is the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. The ending to WrestleMania was just amazing. It was, a lot of people predicted this. I actually predicted this like last year. I kind of knew something like this was going to happen, you know, since he has that briefcase. I thought he was either going to do it like on Raw or at WrestleMania, but he did it at WrestleMania. The thing that didn't come true about my prediction in this match is I thought, you know, Seth was going to do it when the match was over, but he did it like, you know, during the match, which was out of hand, and because they just turned the match into a triple threat match, and it was crazy. But Seth Rollins, you know, he walked down that ramp with that title, and he just held it up in the air, and all the confetti was everywhere, and that was the end of WrestleMania. That was, you know, just epic. I'm proud of Seth Rollins. You know, I'm glad he, you know, has a chance, and he has that title now. But hopefully we'll see what's to come as Raw kicks off tomorrow. Because I'm recording this as of Sunday, so hopefully we'll see what happens on Raw. I might make a review on Raw. It depends if I'm busy or not. But just stay tuned. But thank you all for watching this review. I know this review was lengthy. I had a lot of shit to say. And I'm sorry if I was talking too fast. I'm trying to slow down. Getting kind of sleepy because I got shit I got to do later. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And that's about it. Tell me what you think about WrestleMania. Do you think it was good? Do you think it was bad? Do you think it was okay? It's all up to you guys. But thank you guys for watching this video. That's about it. Peace.